Let's talk about using one of these bad boys, a grinder and the grinding wheel. It's a tool that we use every day, but I've just recently learned that I've been doing it the wrong way, and maybe you have too. So pull up a seat to pipeline class. A portion of this video is sponsored by Weiler Abrasives. If you watched our How It's Made video, we'll put a link in the description if you missed it, you know that they recently come on as a partner. And today, I get to share with you their brand new pipeline wheel. More about this later in the video. Stay tuned. If you haven't already, make sure and subscribe and ding the bell to get notified when I post a new video every Friday afternoon now, if you haven't noticed. If you did notice, comment "I did" in the comments below. Like to keep y'all on your toes. If you don't know me, I'm Austin Ross, and on this channel I like to share tips and tricks for rig welders and pipeliners. So I just recently learned that not all grinding discs are made to do both 90-degree grinding and 45-degree grinding. In fact, most pipeline companies supply us with these grinding discs that are made to do one thing, and we use them for both. I do, and I didn't even know I was doing it. This could be why they weren't working as well. That specific disc that we were using to face the pipe was just made to grind the bead. It wasn't made to grind on this part of the grinding disc. And on top of that, it's just not as safe to use a grinding disc right here whenever it's not made, whenever it's just made to use right here. And to add to that, whenever it's not working as well, we tend to chip the disc, right? All that does is degrade the integrity of this disc, therefore making it even more unsafe. Lingo education real quick. Chipping the grinding disc means taking a file and literally chipping it around the whole thing to get it to cut again, because some discs that you use tends to glaze over. We'll define that term here in a minute. Pipeliners aren't always known to be the safest workers in the world. We're down to earth, rough around the edges. We're there to get a job done, and we take what's supplied for us and we make it work. That's just how we are. Even though there's safety personnel all around us all the time, and some jobs are strict, you know. We're all there just trying to get the job done, and this means things like this slip through the cracks sometimes. So how do you know which disc is made for which use? On any grinding disc, you should find a little icon. This one here shows you can use it to grind the bead and to face the pipe, to prep the ends. I had no idea they were here, but I also never knew to look. Like I just said, us pipeliners, we just take what we're given and we make it work. Question of the day: have you used the wrong disc for both facing the pipe and grinding the bead? Did you even know to look for this icon? I can't wait to know, because I hope I'm not alone. But then again, if I was, that means you've been doing it right, which is good. Anywho, now we all know. Let me know down below. Now I get to tell you more about this disc right here. Weiler partnered with me on this portion of the video, and I'm excited to be working with them and to have my hands on this new wheel. This is their Tiger Pipeliner grinding wheel, and as you can see here, it's made for facing the pipe and grinding the bead. I first got to test out this wheel whenever I went to tour their facility a couple months back, and I've been excited to share it with you ever since. It's going to be a game changer, I'm pretty sure of it. Super excited about it. A few things that I'm most excited about: like I said, it's made for both grinding the bead and facing the pipe, and it's safe to do so. Meaning we aren't going to have to change out the wheel, not that we normally change out the wheel, but it's going to perform grinding the bead and facing the pipe safely and efficiently. Another thing that I love about this new disc is it's designed so you don't have to chip it. It says right here, do not chip, do not alter. Made for pipeliners. They put all these on here because the guys at Weiler actually went out and have for like the past year, I think, roughly, working on this specific disc for pipeliners, for us to grind on the pipe. They've went out to the right-of-ways, they've asked questions to helpers and welders to see where the pain points were, what we were having issues with grinding discs. So they literally got into the mind of us clients and figured out what exactly we needed in a grinding disc. And I absolutely love that. I mean, what better way to serve your client's needs than to go out and ask them for yourself? They did multiple iterations making sure that it didn't glaze over whenever we were grinding on a hot piece of pipe. More pipeline lingo. Glazing over happens to some grinding discs whenever you grinding the bead on a hot piece of pipe. You know, we preheat the pipe before we weld it, and after we put the bead in, it's hot, and we're grinding on it. Well, some discs that we've used in the past tend to glaze over, therefore they don't cut. It just means it gets real smooth, you know, and that's why we have to take our file and chip it. We don't have to, but I mean, to make it work, we have to, right? And this one you don't have to, and that's what I love about it. Whenever I tried it out up there, I noticed right away that it was real smooth. I mean, from the first time it touched the bevel, it didn't jump. You know, some discs that we've used in the past tend to jump. This one didn't jump, it just fell right in and started cutting and done its job like it's supposed to. One thing they offered to me whenever we were in their shop trying out this disc, they said, we can roll the pipe for you so you ain't gotta grind the bottom. I said, no, I don't want you to roll it, because that's one of the tests that I wanted to do with it personally, is to grind on the bottom. I don't know how many times I've had a helper that can't get that bottom real well. Well, you're holding a 9-inch grinder, grinding on a piece of 42-inch pipe, and you're trying to hold the weight up with the grinder, and your grinder disc is glazed over, and it won't cut. I mean, no wonder. Even I've had trouble grinding the bottom. So that, I wanted to test it, and I tried it, and it cut exactly like I needed it to down there. This helps with safety. It saves you from fatigue. Those of you that are helpers or welders already, you know that running a grinder all day can be hard on your hands. You know, it's a lot of work to hold the grinder, especially on that bottom. So whenever you have a grinding disc that's actually doing its job, it's allowing you to not work near as hard, and I love that. Most importantly, it helps with not getting out of the bevel. One of the most important things about pipeline is you don't want to grind outside the bevel. That's a big no-no. So a good grinding disc that doesn't jump is key to quality work. One of the things that I've heard from other welders and helpers that have used this disc already is that it lasts longer. So not only can you do both with it, but it lasts a little bit longer. One of two things normally happens with other grinding discs. They either cut real good and they may not ever glaze over, but you can only get 1 or 2 welds, like, you know, 1 or 2 24-inch welds out of it or less, you know, because it's good, but it goes down real quick. Or it glazes over and you have to chip it, and it might last longer, but you're all the time having to get your file and chip it, or, you know, do whatever you gotta do to make it cut. So this, you don't have to chip it and it lasts longer. So as you can tell, I'm super excited about this product. I think it's gonna be a huge game changer. It already is a game changer, it's already out. Pipeliners are using it every day. Weiler has a great opportunity for pipeliners interested in trying out this new wheel. If you follow the link in the description, fill out the short form on their website, a Weiler representative will contact you about testing this wheel. They are giving out a limited number of wheels to pipeliners who qualify, so make sure you go fill out that form to get on their list. If you're a welder, a welder's helper, a weld boss, welder foreman, instructor, or safety personnel and work closely with welders, you would qualify. You can get your hands on them by requesting them from your trusted pipeline supply company, or by calling the Weiler customer service team and having them get you in touch with a distributor in your area. I'll put all that information below along with a phone number so you can have access to it. A quick thanks to Weiler for partnering with me so we can bring brand new products like this to you, and for dropping the knowledge on me so I can pass along the education. Alright, so getting started with the grinding wheel and tips on how to use a grinder. A quick tip for putting a grinding disc on. It sounds simple, right? But I've had a lot of helpers that struggle with it. The easiest way that I found to put a grinding disc on a grinder is lay the grinder down like this, and then take your grinding wheel and set it on the hub there. Put your thumb in the middle, and then take your other fingers and spin it on. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And just once it gets started, spin it and you'll hear it stop. You can push the button in. Most grinders will have a button back here, and you can push it in. Once it locks, you can kind of put a snug on it, but it's not going to get much tighter usually. The next tip is probably going to be a little more helpful, is getting the grinding disc off. A lot of times your wire wheel and grinding disc is going to get stuck, but the easiest way I've found, because I'm not a very buff guy, right? And I've had a lot of helpers that aren't very buff either. So guys like us, we got to figure things out, you know, the hard way. But the easiest way I've found to get this grinding disc off is to face the grinder away from you and put this handle in between your knees. Spin the wheel while pushing the button until it locks, and then hit down with it. You know, you're going to be wearing your gloves. This goes for wire wheel or any disc. Hit down. Comes right off. I think why that's easy for a lot of people is because you don't ever have to remember lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. You know, you might get confused. If you just remember, face the grinder away from you and hit it down. That's the two things that you got to remember, and your disc will come off just fine while holding the button. Or if you're an experienced helper, sometimes you can, without hitting the button, or sometimes this button is lost and you don't have this button to go off of, so you can spin it up real fast and then hit it down while it's spinning up, and that'll give you enough momentum to get it to spin off. Another tip. Alright, let's talk about the grinder guard. Nowadays, most any job you go on, or at least 98% of the jobs I go on, you have to have a grinder guard. Kind of a pain. A lot of us that, not so much me, since I've been doing it, I've pretty much had to have grinder guards. But like my brother that's been pipelining for twice as long as I have, grinder guards weren't as big a deal. You know, back in the day they weren't as big a deal. They just weren't as strict with safety, you know. Nowadays they're more strict. So it's just a good idea to get used to using the grinder with a guard. One thing I like to do is keep my guard a little loose, just so you can roll it, because whenever you're grinding the top quarter, you know, you're gonna have to have your guard right here. When you're grinding the bottom quarter, you move your guard like that and you grind the bottom quarter. So you don't want it too loose, but loose enough to where you can spin it. It's gonna make you more efficient and not gonna aggravate you as much. Production is key out there, so you don't wanna be taking time to loosen your grinder guard and tighten it back up and this, that, and the other. So just little tricks like that to help you be more efficient out there on the right of way. Keep in mind your welding partner or your helper partner. One thing that's bad about the guard is this is like a funnel for the sparks, or like a track, and all it does is shoot the sparks. Like whenever you're grinding on top, it shoots the sparks right at your welding partner or your helper partner. So one thing you can do is tilt your grinder up more like this, that way it shoots the sparks down towards the pipe instead of over the pipe. You know, something to keep in mind. I mean, a lot of times helpers should have, you know, their ear covered up by their welding cap, or you know, one will start on bottom, one will start on top. So it's usually not too much of an issue, but just keep in mind your welding partner. Same on the bottom. If they're over there on the bottom, don't be shooting sparks, because whenever you grind on the bottom, your sparks go towards your partner over there. One thing that I do to steady the grinder is I take this part of my hand and I put it on the pipe, and then I hold the head of the grinder like this. I set it on the pipe and then I start the grinder before I lay it in the bevel. This way you don't take a chance of this jumping around, or like whenever you start the grinder, sometimes it, you know, if you got a grinder with a lot of torque, it kind of does that number. And if you're not ready for it, you're liable to, you know, get outside the bevel. So steady with your hand, with this hand, start the grinder, keep your hand on the pipe the whole time until you get it in the bevel and start grinding. One situation where this is really important is whenever you're grinding a bug hole on the cap. If your welder has, or if you're a welder and you get a bug hole on the side of your cap, chances are you'll use a 1/8 disc, and you'll want to grind that bug hole out real good and then put a band-aid over it. It's real likely for you to get outside, you know, over onto the pipe if you're not steady in your hand. So use that technique. Put that part of your hand on the pipe and then start it, and then keep your hand on the pipe the whole time while you're touching that bug hole. One last helpful thing that I wanted to bring up is rolling up a grinder. A lot of welders are pretty strict on their grinders, on rolling them up. One thing that a lot of helpers do that drives me crazy is they suck this all the way up whenever they roll up the grinder, and that just, over time, you're gonna break your wires, or they rub together right here, and it starts to short out, it'll smoke and everything else, and you don't want that. So I like to keep it a habit of putting some slack like that, and then for a quick roll up, I usually do the figure 8 motion, over the top, around, over the top, around, over the top, and just kind of tuck this cord wherever, like this. And that works good for quick. That's how I do it 90% of the time. But if I had all the time in the world on every job and I had the patience, what I really like to do, this makes it real nice. If you're a new helper, you want to impress your welder, do this. Leave the slack. Once again, slack is even more important on this one because you're fixing to use it. Go around your head one time and then roll it nice and snug like this. And then take your plug and stick it, push your slack up, and then take your plug, stick it through your slack, and then pull back out your slack down here just like a slip knot. And then your plug and your tail, everything's compact and nice. Main thing, don't kink up this too bad down here, and have it rolled up nice. I like things look nice. Alright, I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to go check out Weiler's website by using the top link in the description. Drop your info on the form so they can contact you and get you hooked up. Before you go, make sure to like this video if you liked it. Drop your answer to the question of the day in the comments. Subscribe for more videos like this one. And if you want to be notified when I post a new video, make sure to ring the notification bell. My advice for this week is use the right tools for the job and invest in multi-purpose tools. Using the right tools means efficiency, safety, and it results in a higher quality finished product or job. At first though, investing in all the tools can be overwhelming and expensive. You can spend more money on one tool if it replaces two. This not only saves space, but in the long run will save you money. Just like this consumable right here. It's a good rule to live by. Remember, learn something every day, and we will see you next Friday. Thanks for watching.